Hey guys, Dustin here, CEO of 630. Want to talk to you today about bicycles and answer the question, are bicycles unisex? What bikes are unisex? Do you want a unisex bike? So this is a great topic, interesting topic. So let's dive into it. So number one thing, or my first response is any bike, any product, anything in the world can be unisex, virtually speaking, if you really want it to be, right? I think a lot of gender identification and gender separation has been, deemed or set forth by societal rules and societal regulations. So none of it's real, doesn't matter necessarily. We can choose or ride or do whatever we'd like. And that holds very much true with bicycles. Now, with that said, there may be some design elements of some bikes that feature benefits for a body type that might typically be more like a body type of a man, or might be more typical of a body type of a woman. And so there are some bikes out there that cater to things like that. Like, generally speaking, if women have shorter arms or things of that nature, there might be bike companies catering to that. Now, I'm not saying women actually do have shorter arms, but there are some philosophies about body types and how women's bodies differ from men's. And so a lot of bike companies try to cater to that with how they design and engineer different parts. But with that said, and specifically when you're looking at 630, the answer is any of our bikes can be unisex. And any men's bike can be ridden by a women's bike. Any men's bike can be ridden by a woman. Any woman's bike can be ridden by a man. So a little bit of the history of bicycles. The way women's bikes, I think, came to be, especially step-through frames, was when, back in the early 1900s, women used to wear dresses. The idea of the step-through was conducive to dress wearing at that point, which is why, the swooping frame was sort of a design element for women back then, because it was actually beneficial to the wardrobe they're wearing. Well, fast forward now, everybody wears anything, shorts, pants, dresses, across all genders. So women's bikes have just sort of carried the same design philosophy in recreational bikes. So I'm talking about beach cruisers, city bikes, and then even hybrid bikes have a little bit of a lower swooping frame. Now, a lot of road bikes, typically road and mountain, actually have the same kind of frame setup and frame design between men's and women's. The biggest difference is just going to be the sizing. And so that kind of segues me into my next point, which is what really just distinguishes men's and women's bikes more than anything is the different sizes available. I think typically speaking, on average, men are taller and women are shorter. So you're going to see women's bikes in a lot shorter or smaller sizes and men's bikes in taller sizes. But that for sure does not mean that a very tall woman can't ride a men's bike and a very short man can't ride a women's bike. And a lot of times I do see women that are on the taller side end up going with a men's bike because there might not be a size available for their height. Specifically, this would be something women over 6 feet may have to deal with, in the road bike sector, or even across our bikes. We have some taller women, maybe they're looking for a little bigger frame, so instead of opting for the women's model, go with the men's model. And the other thing too is with women's frames, specifically ours across the city bikes and the Every Journey and the Body Ease, the women's frames have a lower step through. Now, we've done that typically. We're going to be coming out with some men's frames that have the low step through, or men's colors, so to speak, or more typical men's colors like blacks and things like that. But we actually have a lot of men that do want step through buying the Body Ease or the Ride in the Park or the Every Journey. They buy the women's version because they do like the step through versus the men's version. And you'll see a lot of companies nowadays, instead of calling them men's or women's, they're just basically calling them step through or non-step through. We've left our site separation as men's and women's only because those seem to be typical search words. So it makes it easier for people to navigate to certain products. But again, anybody can ride any bike. We do have some neutral tones in the women's frame, like a navy, that men can ride. And for taller women, you can look at men's bikes. So that pretty much sums it up. The long of it is that yes, all bikes are generally unisex. Men can ride women's can ride men's. It's really about your body and what's most comfortable for you. And if you have any questions about fit, your body type, what's going to be best for you, please reach out to us. You can email us, the team at sixthreezero.com, or call us 310-982-2877. And also look at the top of our website, right below the top nav, there's a body fitting quiz. You can enter your height, weight, and answer about 20 questions, and it's going to find the perfect bike for you. Also, don't forget, we have a test ride your bike 365-day policy. If you don't love your bike after 365 days, you can return it. No questions asked, free shipping both ways, because at 630, our goal is to make sure that you love your bike.